Sometimes in life, you visit a place where your heart suddenly feels heavy. Your intuition screams that you shouldn't be there, that you should leave immediately. But often, it is already too late, and what happens next can only be felt, not described. I have uploaded such stories on YouTube before. If, God forbid, you have experienced such an event, you can share it with me via the email address in the description. I will select the best stories to narrate for you. Let's move to today's stories. But before we begin, please recite Ayat al-Kursi. It is said that when we take too much interest in these entities and discuss them, they start getting closer to us because they take interest in us. So to ensure you don't get scared, recite the prayer. Let's begin. I have been living abroad for a long time. The first few years were blessed by Allah. It felt like destiny was holding my hand. Hard work yielded double the results. Every month I sent money home. Parents were happy, my wife was happy, the children were happy. Then, I don't know what happened. Obstacles appeared in my work. Deals were canceled one by one. People who used to call me started rejecting my calls. The money I sent home dwindled. Then came the day I called home with nothing to say. And with that, something inside me began to change. I became irritable. Small things made me furious. When my wife, Maryam, spoke, it felt like a fire was burning inside me. I would say hurtful things and regret them later. Sleep vanished. Hunger and thirst disappeared. I felt like everyone knew something dark about me. I felt a presence in my room, even though no one was there. My dreams became punishments. I saw myself locked in dungeons, behind iron bars, or walking a path blocked by a giant snake pushing me back. My wife eventually told me something that shook me to my core. So I decided to move back to my home country, thinking the air of my homeland would fix everything. But here, things got worse. One day, I came back from outside. My son met me at the door and said, "Mom is upstairs cleaning and hasn't come down for a long time." The upper floor used to be rented, but was now empty. I went up and heard Maryam laughing, but there was no joy in that laugh. It sounded forced. She was talking to someone. I called out, "Maryam!" She turned, saw me, and started screaming in terror, as if I were attacking her. She backed against the wall, shielding our son. The family rushed up from downstairs. What she told us sent a wave of cold through my body. She said, "You came in earlier. You said hello and told me to leave the cleaning and come with you. You were laughing. You said you'd keep talking while I worked." Tears were in her eyes, her hands trembling. Then she said the sentence that froze my blood. "Then suddenly, you said hello from the door behind me again. When I looked back, you were at the door. But the one standing near the window, he looked exactly like you. But his eyes, Zahid, his eyes weren't smiling. He was just staring." I stood frozen because I had felt this too. Voices calling my name, empty roofs, and sometimes my reflection in the mirror didn't move in sync with me. I used to brush it off as a hallucination. A few days later, near Maghrib, I was on the roof. A clear voice behind me said, "Zahid, come here." I turned instantly. No one. The whole roof was empty. My feet felt stuck to the ground. I recited verses and ran downstairs. One night, I woke up to a noise. I ran to the room and found Maryam trembling. She grabbed my arm like a lifeline. She told me she wasn't asleep, but her body was heavy, like a mountain was on her chest. Then a black woman appeared. She stood very close. Maryam could smell her breath. She pointed at our daughter and laughed, as if saying, "She is mine."
Maryam tried to read Ayatul Kursi, but kept forgetting the words. That woman just laughed at her helplessness. We went to many places. Some said magic, some said jinns, but the dangerous part was Maryam. She would talk to thin air, smiling. She told me, "Zahid, I swear the person I talk to looks like you, but he isn't you." I felt a hollowness, as if someone else was taking my place in my own life. One night, I woke up to a soft laugh. I saw my wife facing the edge of the bed, talking to someone sitting on the floor. It was a man of my exact height and build. He held her hand and said, "Let's go to the other room." Maryam got up and tranced. As they reached the door, I shouted, "Maryam!" She screamed. The man stepped into the light. It was my exact copy. As soon as I shouted, he ran toward the courtyard and dissolved into the air like smoke. This was eating me alive. One day in the market, a man stared at me, then grabbed my hand. He said, "Come, let me tell you the solution to your problem." He took me to a hotel, closed his eyes, blew on a jug of water 3 times, and said, "Mix this in your bath water, bathe standing up, pour the collected water into a flowing stream, come back in 2 days, and don't tell anyone." He called himself your brother. I did as he said. When I bathed, the water turned yellow like turmeric. I poured more. It stayed yellow. My head spun. I collected it and drained it away. For the first time in months, my heart felt light. 2 days later, I went back to the hotel. The owner looked at me and said, "I don't know such a man." I was stunned. I sat in that exact spot. When I went home, the jug was missing. No one had touched it. Then I saw Maryam. Her front hair was chopped off, lying on the floor. She was staring blankly, unresponsive like a stone. I thought, "Oh Allah, this is beyond me." Suddenly, a loud knock at the door. I opened it. The brother was standing there, smiling, holding the missing jug. He said, "Give this water to your family, sprinkle it in the house, and put my trust, this jug, back where it was." He turned and vanished, just like that. I gave the water to Maryam. She cried, hugging our daughter, as if coming back to life. Maryam told me later that before the water, she was in the kitchen and saw me, but my smile was wrong, just teeth. I smelled like wet mud and old wood. That entity said, "Why all these prayers? I am right here." The dish rack shook violently on its own. That night, my blanket was pulled. I woke up. At the foot of my bed, my doppelganger was sitting. His eyes were full of darkness. He moved to the side of the bed and whispered, "There is a place for me in your house." I shouted, "Allahu Akbar." A cold wind blew, and he retreated, smiling a non-human smile. The next night, our son screamed. He was terrified. He said, "Papa, you just came here, put your hand on my head, and told me to shut up. Your hands were freezing." I hadn't left the room. I lost my temper. I shouted at the empty corner, "Come face me if you exist." Silence. Then a slow tapping knock at the main door. Maryam grabbed my wrist so hard her nails dug in. She whispered, "Don't open it. It's him." I opened the door. The street was empty. Then Maryam screamed, "Look behind you!" I turned. My doppelganger was standing inside our courtyard. He looked at Maryam and said, "Why are you afraid? I am you." I asked, "Who are you?" He smiled, a smile with too many teeth, and said, "I am the one you awakened, your Hamzad." My phone lit up with a message. The trust is not fulfilled. The brother arrived again. He said, "This is your Hamzad, imposed on you by magic when you were weak and negative." We went to the roof. He told me not to look back. He recited prayers. That black woman appeared again, screaming, and then shattered like smoke. The air cleared. The brother told me never to mention him and left. Peace returned. But to this day, when I look in the mirror, sometimes my reflection moves a split second late. I realized that some doors are inside us, not outside.
Friends, before the next story, please subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't lose me in the vast sea of YouTube. Leave a comment for feedback. It helps me bring better content for you. Let's move to the next story.
I am a huge fan from KPK, and I want to stay anonymous. A year ago, I woke up one morning with a high fever. I started feeling terrified of my parents, thinking they would kill me. I could only talk to my younger brother. They took me to a scholar. He gave me a paper. At first, it looked like Quran verses, but then the paper started to look twisted and strange. I started losing time. I wouldn't be in my senses during the day. I would bite my own hands, cutting them, and only realize it at night when I saw the wounds and screamed. I couldn't digest food. I would go to sleep in my bed and wake up on the roof or outside the room. Astaghfirullah, I reached a state where I couldn't read the Quran. I forgot how to pray namaz. I went to psychiatrists, but they found nothing. Every night around 2 a.m., I felt someone sleeping on top of me. I couldn't move. My mother said it was a hallucination, but I heard whispers and babies crying. I recorded myself sleeping one night. The phone just moved on its own. So one night I skipped my meds to stay awake. I felt the weight. I opened my eyes and saw a creature, neither human nor animal. It was right in front of my face, bringing its tongue close as if to lick me. I fainted. Finally, a doctor told us to see a spiritual healer. The healer revealed I had a Jinn Ashiq, a jinn in love with me, attached from my uncle's house, along with black magic intended to drive me insane. I remembered being on my uncle's roof, seeing a boy using a phone when the internet was down. That was the start. It took months. I lost 13 kilograms. My parents cried seeing my state. My father would slap his own face in grief, asking Allah why his only daughter was suffering like this. But, alhamdulillah, a good scholar treated me, and my faith was restored. I am fine now. However, to this day, whenever there is negative energy nearby, I sense it instantly. I just ignore it and don't tell anyone.
Thank you for sharing your story. May Allah grant health to anyone suffering from this. Friends, how did you like today's stories? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please like it, and if you are new here, subscribe and hit the bell icon to join my YouTube family. Take care of yourselves.